Alright, let's look at all these little. There's a good looking little piece of a tree down there. And there's some pretty nice fish in it. I don't know if I got it, but I had a couple of crappie come off of a little piece here a few minutes ago. I don't think it got filmed, but they were awful thin. I think they're post-spawn. They done spawned out and come back to where I like to fish. I think there's a few in here. We're gonna try to get them, probably get hung up, because that's pretty thick. And there's a couple right there. Looks like a few over here. So let's fish for them. Well, we did get one out of there. I think he was, there was a big one right there, and this little one came up and stole it from him. But that's okay. That's not a real little one. It's probably big enough to have participated in the spawn. He sure is jumpy. Anyway, get him off, go back and try that big one again. That's amazing that you can see this much detail on these machines these days. And I guess since I'm new to this, I wasn't really thinking, but some folks may be wondering what all I have and what I do with it. But this machine is a 93 what do you call that, 93 SV, and it's got the Echo maps. But anyway, it's got the maps and the GPS, and I've got two of them. One of them I just use for GPS, and then the other one I keep it on. It's only a 9-inch screen, so I need that whole screen to be able to see the details of this Panoptix. So then I just got this little PVC pipe holder that I made to put my Panoptix on. And the main reason I've got Garmin is because Garmin makes the Panoptix, and Garmin machines, if compatible, will work with the Panoptix. And to be brutally honest about it, I got it mounted on a separate pole because I cannot see how anybody could use this thing and have any production from it if it's stuck with moving with the trolling motor. So anyway, so what I have is a separate pole, nothing fancy. There's another one right back at it. I think these fish are coming off a spawn. They're looking good. Oh, these are keeper fish. We just got, I've got fish in the freezer from previous trips. So we don't keep them right now. That's another black crappie. Oh, he's got some wounds on him. He's done been, I don't know, maybe a gar bit him. That's not very old. That's kind of fresh. If you can see that, he's got it a little flesh showing on that side, and then this side he's got a few scales missing. So something just came in and kind of got him like that. But I've seen fish in much worse shape than that. I think he'll live just fine. So let's get him back. Now this is my secret spot. It's across the cove. We'll pan around. That area right over there is what's known as Turkey Creek. And then you got the lakefront drive down through there, and then you probably can't see it, but there's a big houseboat going through yonder, and right about where they're at, that's Mason's boat dock. And I think on the map it's called Richland Creek. But anyway, back to this. I got the Minn Kota Ultrex and all that. It's got the spot lock and heading. You can make the speed at whatever speed you want it. It's got the remote control with it. It's really handy, but I call it putting it in park. When you pull up somewhere, you can just smash that button with your foot and it will stay right there within a few feet after it settles down. You don't want to be moving fast when you hit the park. If you've ever done that in your car, it really makes a terrible noise and takes a minute to settle down, but always come to a complete stop before you put it in park. You don't have to with this, but it sure does make it set better when you do. But the spot lock is the key. You want to get your nose pointed into the wind, and as long as the wind's coming at you, or what, I don't like a lot of wind, but enough to keep the boat straight. You keep that boat straight coming at you, and that spot lock will keep it on the spot, and all you got to worry about is fishing. I'll be honest, it's not cheap. Of course, like I said, this is my secret spot. It's far to come over here. My little boat don't run too fast, about 30 or so. I think it'll go faster, I just don't like to, but I run over here, and this is my spot when the wind's blowing, because it's tucked under this hill on this little bluff. Garmin Livescope wanted to ever do a commercial. This right here is just about as loaded with brush and a few of those sandstone rocks that fell in, and that is, you know, some pretty good little fish hanging in there, but they could really get some details out of this. And I got it set where it shows a little more clutter than it should, because this little 1/32 ounce lure, we didn't talk about that, but that's what size it is. And 1/32 ounce, and I like the ones with a little bit bigger hook on them, but you have to get what you have to get. And as far as Jig Head Color, I've always been partial to the pink color, and I guess there's a lot of people that are partial to that color too, because you just about can't find one right now in any store, on any online ordering website or anything. It's just everybody must really like that lure. I mean, jig's what it is. 1/32 ounce lead head jig. And I've tried other colors, I've tried no colors, but that pink is day in and day out the color to have, in my opinion. But confidence and opinions make for everybody having different fishing habits. Woo. I don't know if y'all can tell, but the boat's rocking pretty good. The waves off of that houseboat we saw go by are just now getting over here, and they're big ones. We changed colors a little bit. This is one I hadn't fished with in a while. It's called the Cajun Cricket. It was really good last year, mostly in the winter. They still like it a little bit. Here's one coming up out of here on it, but not a little, nothing big, just a little fella. But anyway, this is the Cajun Cricket. Let's see if we can see that. This is the, I don't know what you call that model, but it's a little bigger than the normal plastic jig, and it's got that little fantail on the back, gives it a little more action, I guess. And then these hooks, they're smaller than I want to have. A number 2 hook in a jig is better for me. This is, I think, number 6 or 8, probably a number 6 at least. But anyway, there's that pink head. I really like that pink head. While we were talking, the wind blowed us around a little bit, turned us around. But this place is a target-rich environment. I see some I see some stuff right up in front of us. It's kind of a deep hole here. This is usually 20 or 25 foot deep, give it that range. And it's kind of an old creek channel that comes around this edge before it runs out to the main river. And which this river here, I don't know, the people from this area know this place. You can find places to catch fish, but being the Kentucky Lake, it's the last body of water on the Tennessee River before it goes through Kentucky Dam. That Kentucky Lake Dam up there, which is actually in Kentucky. We just happen to have most of the lake in Tennessee. There's some more coming up. Now that's a good way to find or what you want to see. A lot of little fish sitting on top of that one particular little brush. We'll get up here a little closer and see if we can't find one of them. Right up on the end of this hook. There's a nice one sitting there. I'm gonna hit the park button on this spot lock. See if we can get it out there. Come back to them. All you gotta do is just get it right over top of them. If they see it, everybody says the crappie feeds up. I'm gonna say he just feeds forward. He got to bite it with his mouth. I don't know if we've talked about it, but I like to keep this screen set on 40 foot forward, because that's about as far as I can throw with a 1/32 ounce jig. And you get used to that scale of about how far they are, and you know, the size of things, and it just works out better, seems like, for me. And then if I'm moving and looking for something, I'll run that machine on out to where it's about 80 to 100 foot, and that way you can see it before you get there, and you can look at a bigger radius by turning and just easing along looking for stuff. That's how I find all the brush piles and the stake beds, and you know, just different things. Mother Nature put some of it in here for us, because over on the other side of the river where I like to fish for catfish it's about 35 foot deep, and there's an entire tree, and it's been there on the, it ain't the river bottom, but it's kind of right on the edge where it goes down to deep water. And it's a huge tree, and it just looks like an orange and black painting of a tree when you look at it on this machine. We need to look at that. Right down there, he just went away. But anyway, that was a real nice sized fish, and probably a catfish. Well, here comes another one out right here. Watch him. You can just see him swim. I mean, it's obviously his head's to the left, his tail's to the right. Now he's turned. He's either facing us or going away. Have to move the transducer a little bit. Now he's turned. He's going right back into the right now. Met his buddy. They didn't even stop. They just kept going by one another. Well, he's turned around. I don't guess fish have buddies. All they want to do is find the next meal. And if the little buddy is big enough, or in this case small enough, then one of them's not going to be happy. Because fish are really dependent upon eating one another. They eat other things, which we won't get into that, but man, they don't have any trouble eating one another. They kind of seem to enjoy it. Well, this is what normally happens. I came over here, found a few good fish, caught, I don't know, the ones y'all saw, the ones you didn't see. We probably caught about 6 or 7. fish right in this little area. It's really got some good wood. We're gonna move right out here a little bit. There's another spot over here that I got marked. It's a deep stake bed, and we're gonna find out what they're doing, and there might be a few in there. All right, right here's a good stake bed. I had to move. I couldn't get them to bite no more over that other spot. But anyway, here's a really good stake bed. It's a little fuzzy, but there's a couple of fish in there. It looks like one that's worth catching. I don't know if you can see all that, but and right there you can see there's a few down low. They're almost impossible to catch because you got a stake bed, and them hooks like to catch the steaks a lot better than the fish if they have a choice. Anyway, we're gonna see if we can catch one here. That looks pretty good line. Coming right down to him. If he's got any appetite at all, he ought to bite that. Here he comes. And we got him on there. The one we wanted to get. It's a nice one. Well, it feels nice. We'll get this net going over here. Yeah, that's a good crappie. That's the perfect size if you want to eat one. And once again, looks like they'll, let's get him out of here, out of that net. But looks like they're all on the postpone. They done what they're gonna do. I don't know what's male and female and all that, but I can pretty much tell that this fish is kind of thin. And boy, he got that hook right in that tough spot. Anyway, there we go. That fish has got a lot of length to him, but you can see he don't have a lot of fat left. He's, I guess, spawned out. Looks like what they call the black crappie. But he get fattened back up, he'll probably put on at least half that much more weight. That's probably about I'm gonna say about a 13-inch fish. Looks pretty good though. A lot of fun to catch. There he goes. Something else bit it. He don't feel too big. Little bitty crappie. Man, he's a little one. That's about like lunch for a big crappie. Makes you wonder how Richard Jean can sit there and catch about a dozen fish in one spot. And somebody put a lot of work in this little corner right here. Another little bitty fish. So we might as well move on somewhere else. There's just a few little ones left. I guess if we held him just right, he might look bigger, but that's just not a big fish at all. He will be. We got him to where he might be a little cautious next time. He might grow bigger. But anyway, lost my concentration of my whatever I was talking about. But anyway, fishing's fun. It ought to be fun. That's the way we need to go about it.